Legal name fraud. The truth, it's illegal to use a legal name. Interesting. Millions and millions of individuals have a birth certificate. A birth certificate that can never be yours. It can never be identified as yours because it's not yours. How can it be? But yet on the back of this you get yourself bank cards, driving licenses, passports, all these things, everything. And they're not yours. They can never be you. But what you have done, you've participated in something called fraud. Or copyright infringement, actually, to be fair. That's exactly what you've done. Copyright infringement. Every time you touch that birth certificate and you claim it's yours, you're committing copyright infringement. That's owned by the Crown. It's definitely owned by the Crown. It's got a big copyright stamp on it. It says quite clearly who owns it. You don't, and you will never own that. Crown copyrighted. All you need to do is go on the Copyright Design and Patents Act of 1988 and then just go straight to section 163 and look at this sign, Crown Copyright. Where a work is made by Her Majesty, and when they say Her Majesty, by the way, they're referring to Her Majesty's government, which is a body corporate, trading under the SEC. So if you actually go in the Crown Copyrights into the full wordings of descriptions, when it's definitions under the interpretations of the Crown Copyright letters patent, it'll tell you what Her Majesty is referring to, and it's Her Majesty's government it's referring to. And it says quite clearly there, Her Majesty's first owner of any copyright in work. So it's her stamp. It's not her stamp or his stamp, it's Her Majesty's government stamp that's on that. And you guys all seem to think it belongs to you, and from this you get some sort of, what would be the word? Obligation? Absolutely correct. Apart from the fact you've committed fraud, but you do get an obligation to it. It can never be yours and never be used to identify you. It says quite clearly on it, if you actually read it, it says, it is offence under section 65 for any person to pass a genuine any copy or reproduction of this certificate which has not been made by a district register or assistant register authenticated by its signature. And this is what you need to listen to. Any person, hold that word person, comes to that word person again. Any person who falsifies or forges any of the particulars of this certificate or knowingly uses, gives or sends as a genuine. Well, there's the word. Knowingly uses, gives or sends. It's a false document. You're not allowed to use it. It's not yours. So it tells you straight away, in that bit there, knowingly uses, gives or sends as a genuine. It's not genuine. How can it be genuine? It can never be claimed as you. So we've all established the birth certificate does not belong to you. Okay? It's not yours. So what is it then? It's, well, under the Interpretations Act of 1889, section 19, a person is defined or expressed as a body corporate incorporated. Body corporate. Yeah, so meaning of person, future acts. In this act and every act passed after the commencement of this act, the expression person shall, unless a contrary intention appear, include any body of persons corporated or uncorporated. So that's it. That's how the person in the birth certificate are birthed. Yeah, it's simple. It's not rocket science. It's definitely not rocket science. You can understand and see what they've done here. They've given expression to person shall, unless the contrary intention appear, include any body of persons corporate or incorporated. So it's not rocket science. I mean, it's definitely not rocket science. So now we know what the birth certificate is. It's pertaining to the person in legal fiction. But what is that? Well, it's interesting because under the Companies Act, for a company resident guidance or original published in the International Tax Handbook, ITH 305, company residence, company law, and the constitution of a company, and this is the key, company, the Company Act does not in itself create any companies at all. No, it doesn't. It simply lays down a process to which two or more people, now there's the key, it simply lays down a process for which two or more people, and bear in mind I'm not mentioning a corporation, because only people can create a corporation, not persons. Only people, man or woman. That's a bit you need to get. So I'll say it again. It simply lays down a process by which two or more people may create a corporation by complying with the rules which the Act prescribes. If they do, they get a birth certificate. And this is the key. A certificate of incorporation, that is, under the Register of Companies and the creation under the Companies Act. Now there it is. That is what is the birth certificate. It's a corporation. It is nothing more than a corporation, a dead entity that has been, under the Act, has been created by people. Usually two, because it's more than one usually. It has to be two usually. And that's how it's done. So these are man or woman that's created a company, and they've been given the birth certificate. And the birth certificate's not yours. It quite clearly tells you can't use it. You can never use it. But you're going to. You're going to claim it's yours for some mad reason. I have no idea why you would want to claim it. And you're now going to be obligated to that. And this is the bit. This is the frightening bit, really. The frightening bit. There's plenty of these websites on the internet, and they're all claiming that you can take possession of the legal title, as if because you think your name's on it, that name belongs to you. That's on that piece of paper. Well, I hate to tell you and burst your bubbles, but you can never claim ownership of that document in a million years. Why? Because you've not got the copyright to it. It's a copyright, it's a stamp on it. Something else owns this. Somebody's getting a benefit for this, royalties to this. But you seem to think you can take this, and you're all going to, I'll take legal possession, I'll take legal title, we'll take responsibility for that, and you're going to get yourself 7 years in prison for copyright infringement. Are you having a laugh? Are you really having a laugh? All these people are claiming the responsibility and saying, yeah, we'll take the responsibility of this legal title. Are you having a laugh? Are you that naive? Well, there it is. It's not taking responsibility for your actions yet again. And this is why you're in this system. Because you fail to understand the concept of what it is. Yous are only tied to this system because of your belief on something that doesn't belong to you. And because of that, you have the fear of it. And then that makes it a reality. And there it is, quite simple. Lose the fear, lose the name, set yourself free. And it's not hard to do this. Really, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, it's not hard to do this if you understand what you're doing and what you're dealing with. And paperwork is only one side of it. You've got to be able to talk this and know this. And you cannot blame on anybody but yourself. That's called taking responsibility for your actions. Your actions. Oh, you joined this website for this, you joined it for this, you thought you'd get this, and then it all went pear-shaped. And then you start lashing out and blaming people. That's not how this works. You have to see it to the end. Take responsibility for your action. You decided to go into this, and then you decide it doesn't work for you, it's not working for you, you're not operating it properly. Well, that's down to you. That's the individual at the end of the day. That's nobody's fault but your own, and you're not learning the concept of what you're dealing with. Paperwork is only one side of a legal argument. you've got to be able to talk it. And you have got to talk this. And if you can't talk it, you're not going to get out of this system. And they will make sure of it, because the judge has always got the right to ask you, in your own words, please explain why you're here. And they do this to protect the Crown, Her Majesty's government, who they're employed by. And all crowns are owned by Her Majesty's government throughout the plane. So do not be any naive and think this is just, every country's different. They're all the same. They're all owned by the copyright, and the copyright's owned by Her Majesty's government. Well, I'll love you and leave you on that, and just let that ponder and sink in. Just ponder the legal name fraud. The truth, it is illegal to use the legal name. You can't claim it, you can't use it, and you certainly can't operate it, unless you want to get the obligation to it. And the obligation is, and especially in this day and age, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. They're going to take everything from you, because you think it's you. That's an interesting concept. That is really interesting. You think that's you, and then there's your obligation, and there's the fear, and that's it. Job done. Take responsibility for your own actions. Lose the legal name. Lose the legal title. You can't claim something that's never been yours to claim. Show me the obligation to it. Have a nice day. Smile. Crack on. Anyway, I'll love you and leave you, and catch you all later. I hope you enjoy this.